Hello and welcome. My name is Lynn van den Berg. I'm the sales director of Trodat. I've been with the company for 26 years. When I originally got my job, I thought I had landed with my bum in the butter because who couldn't sell a rubber stamp? After all, it was just a stamp. Little did I know about the adventure I was about to embark on and just how many products are available to us. Never a single day is there something we don't learn or get asked for. So I'd just like to share with you today a little bit of our product range. So every year we produce a priced catalog, which allows you to see the pricing on the stamps, as well as examples of what you're able to do. Trodat is the only stamp supplier in the whole world that is able to offer multicolor stamps, and we show these too in this guide. Now, these multicolor stamps are fantastic for things like security. If you can imagine that people will go and replicate a stamp, it's always going to be a stamp like received or dispatched or an account receivable stamp. So when you actually make a multicolor stamp, it becomes much more difficult to copy. So therefore, a real win for any application like that. Also, corporate branding, if you're wanting something really smart with your corporate colors, we can always try and match those as closely as possible, as well as give you something that's a little bit more exciting than just your normal black stamp. We also have a catalog. This catalog is printed and revised every year. It tells you about our full product range, and you can see from this catalog just how full it is, just how much product we really do carry. This is available for download on our website, www.trodat.co.za. Very easy to find, always at the bottom with downloads. Nice one to have available to you should anyone ask you a question. But I bet you that even you are surprised at the amount of product we have just on this table, and this is just a tiny representation, mostly for the retail shop. But I really thought I would spend some time just going through them with you. So our very popular S-printies, we all know these. They're the ones that the customers come in and will want to buy something that says paid or checked or confidential or please, asseblief is probably one of our most popular stamps. So those are really easy over-the-counter ones. You would either get them in a stand like this, or if you needed to hang them, they do come blister packed as well. So easy and simple to merchandise and very popular. We could get those in very easily. We also have teacher stamps. Now, especially at the moment, teachers have to be very cautious about what they're touching and how they're marking. So we're finding that a lot more teachers are buying these stamps. Not only just the normal ones that have their names on, but we even have stamps that have got a happy face, a well done, and a Euro star. So always positive statements so the children know that they are doing well or not. And teachers prefer this because it's their own stamp. They don't have to go and fiddle and write in somebody's book. Right, so those are very nice. We also have the embosser. Embossers have become increasingly unpopular. That's mainly because of the notary publics using it. Of course, it's the traditional use. But so the private schools that are developing obviously need to do something about certificates. And these are fantastic for embossing the certificates, so they have some authenticity to them. Also for corporate branding and home run companies, people who make soaps and things find them very, very useful because they're a little bit unique and very smart if you apply them properly. I'll be showing you all a little bit later. We also have little mini date stamps. These date stamps are selling incredibly well at the moment, and that is also because of the COVID vaccination certificate. So a lot of people are stamping the date onto the vaccination certificate. Very, very useful, and come in various sizes as well. This is our little mini one, very easy, very simple to use, always self-inking, and it has a tiny date, just 3.8 millimeters. You can get bigger ones, of course, if you are wanting, and in fact, we are able to provide date stamps right up to 15 millimeters, but that would always be in a non-self-inking form like this. For every stamp, of course, we have ink. These inks are available standard now in 5 colors, and we have added to this range where we even have pink and brown and light blue colors just normally available as a Trodat ink. Clothing markers, of course, have become incredibly popular purely because of the need to mark. If you are wanting to mark your clothing, we have a clothing marker in a blister pack as a DIY, simple, easy to use. In addition, we have launched our Stamp and Stick from October. They will be available in store. And this is a whole system, so not only for clothing, but also for your school clothes, your school belongings, stationery, etc. Our DIY kits have always been a staple in a stationery shop. These come, obviously, blister packed so that people can't pick up elements of it. Always with 2 sets of letters, a 3mm and a 4mm. And you might ask, why would we supply 2? It's so that you can make your top line slightly bigger. So your company's name would be the highlight, and then the detail underneath would obviously follow thereafter. You also always get a little tweezer, which makes putting the letters in so much simpler. The stamp, of course, and your ink pad. All the elements are available individually should you need refills as well. These DIYs come in sizes right up to the very, very largest professional line, which is the large stamp like this. And that's purely because some people needed to mark onto boxes and want to change maybe a batch number, etc. But even this one is a 60 by 40 stamp. So a lot of detail can be put on this if you need something as quickly as that. I know most people order the customized stamps, but when you need something in a hurry or you need to change detail frequently, of course, those are very useful. Right, I'm going to demonstrate a few products, if you don't mind, just very quickly. One of those being the embosser that we spoke about earlier. With the embosser, you literally put it into the piece of paper and you squeeze. Now, these embossers are made for thicker paper than normal bond paper. So using bond paper is not always the most effective method, but very easy to use, very simple, and doesn't need a lot of pressure. If you do need more and you're finding it difficult to actually apply it just by holding it, you can put it down on the table. It will stand beautifully, and you can push down if you're needing that extra bit of strength. And there you get your emboss. Right, so we were talking about multicolor stamps earlier. Now, a multicolor stamp always has 2 up to 15 colors of ink. The color would always be separated by at least 1.5 millimeters, obviously because you don't want the colors to blend. These require incredible software to make, and the reason for that is that the ink pad and the stamp have to match exactly. If the ink pad is off, then what happens? The colors blend on the stamp, and you will get a mismatch of the ink. So when you stamp your ink down, you can see we have 2 colors of ink on here. One of the items of which we're the most proud is actually our fingerprint ink pads. Now, fingerprint ink pads, traditionally, I don't know if I'm sure you've all actually had the experience of going to home affairs where you get fingerprinted and then for 2 weeks afterwards, you have ink all over your fingers. Now, these are particularly good in that if you had to put your finger onto them and pick it up and then onto the paper, you can see it is on my fingers there. All I've got to do is rub it on my black jeans, just in case, and the ink mostly disappears. So there you go, with a bit of soap and water, the rest of it will be gone. The ink itself is also of a forensic quality, so the police are able to use it. Home affairs, anyone in a government department or anyone like a marriage officer would use something like this. We also keep a very small one. It's a 45 millimeter diameter one. This one obviously very useful, people like magistrates, wedding officials who are doing home ceremonies. One of the products we always find gives us a lot of attention is our pocket printy. Now, why would we need a pocket printy? A pocket printy is a stamp that is very compact. It would fit into our pocket and it would clip on with our clip. Take it out, you have it on you all the time. The ink is not going to affect your clothing, it's not going to dirty anything. When you open it, there is your stamp. So you can see we have our stamp over here. It's available. We print, and there we have our image. It's a very nice stamp to have in your handbag if you are going to restaurants and things like that at the moment, because I'm a little bit tired of filling in the COVID register. So I have one of these just to stamp that. Nice. It's a wonderful product to have in your handbag. Obviously, we have things that have become very useful. In South Africa, there's now legislation that all products have to be dated with the date of manufacture and the best before. We have a product that can actually do that, and that is our 4816, which is a double date stamp over here. We even have it now that you can have the text plate above it, best before and expired by. So those are now available from Trodat. Numbering stamps, automatic numberers, such as our Trodat stamp 5756. It's an automatic numberer. You would literally just stamp down and the number would continue to increment. You can set that number. So by literally just moving this lever, you can set it so it'll only increment every second time, every sixth time, every third time, depending on what you're needing. Now, the reason for that would be sometimes you have forms and the same form has to be stamped 6 times. So you stamp it, and then when you put it on 6, it'll only stamp on the 7th stamp. Very, very nice and very popular, very strong product. Most of you know we supply our stamps either in a red casing or a black casing. But for those people who want something a little funkier, we do have some really exciting colors, pinks, greens, blues. So don't think your stamp has to be boring. It can match your stationery too. Right, so that's a little bit about what we have available for you, what you can buy from us, and what we can obviously offer you. Anything of a technical nature that you are wanting us to assist with, you are able to email us on trodat@trodat.co.za, of course, as well as fill in our contact form on our website, which is www.trodat.co.za. We have a YouTube channel too, so if you're wanting information like how to change an ink pad, how to put the letters on in the DIY kit, those are all available on our YouTube channel, Trodat South Africa. But we really welcome any question you have. Please send it to us, and I really hope this has been helpful to you. So all the best. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.